Welcome back to the other podcast, and thank you for joining us. Me, Janice, Jasmine, and Veronica. And today is going to be the episode 10, and we thank you for coming again. We are taking a mindful pause together and an opportunity to reset, to reconnect, and return to ourselves. Whether you are listening from home, from work, or on a walk, or settling in for a moment of quiet, I invite you to take a slow breath and arrive fully in this space. So let's begin. Today, we're going to talk about a subject that we are fully familiar. It's about meditation. We're going to talk about the meaning of meditation to us and the misconception. Okay. So the first question they normally ask me is, how do you get introduced by about the meditation? In my case, I will tell you when I started meditated. I think I was 17, 18 when I first started doing yoga. And I didn't really know what was that, but my teacher was a yoga teacher for many, many years. So the first thing he showed me what to do was breathe. And I didn't know how important was how to breathe until today. That I usually don't breathe consciously because I'm quite busy, but when I have the moment, it's very important to breathe consciously. So who wants to start telling the audience how you get introduced by the meditation?
I can start. The first time I heard the word meditation, I heard it from my brother-in-law many, many years ago, but I had the misconception that when you meditated, you thought about things. I didn't understand what meditation was about, really. And then I got introduced into meditation many years after an accident I had at work. Working as a nurse, I was attacked by one of my patients, and I got very stressed after that. And then I met my teacher, the still my teacher, my mentor, and he said that I should meditate. And then he taught me breathing was one of the first things he taught me. I just tried to look at how things happen and then try to go back to my breathing. It's like that was my focus. And when I started doing that, then I started feeling calm. And this was the introduction of meditations about, I don't know, 25 years ago or something.
Wow, that's long.
Mm.
What about you?
I don't
Yeah.
remember first time someone said to me, meditate. I've always been very impatient and very much running and rushing things. So sitting down and trying to meditate, I don't think it would have worked for me when I was a teenager. Even though my parents would tell me, Veronica, just sit down and breathe. But I thought it was always talked down. Like, yeah, just take a deep breath, relax. You're too emotional. So that was the misconception that I thought that they wanted me to get less emotional, and therefore they wanted me to breathe and meditate. I never thought that it could actually have a wonderful effect. So it was only, I feel like I did so many things in the opposite way. I started doing meditation when I became yoga teacher, which is like 5 years ago. So my meditation changed a lot from that time. I suppose we will talk more about it, but yeah, now I feel like meditation is, when I actually get to do it, I'm really happy with myself. And it happens a few times a week, and I don't imagine it not happening. And I don't get less emotional because of it. I just feel like I direct the emotions at the right things. So that's the short answer.
That's beautiful. One of the misconceptions that I get to experience myself is that meditation is easy. It's not. It's it wasn't easy for me, at least, because I just couldn't quiet not only my mind, but the things that were happening in the room. So to me, it was a daily practice. I had to practice daily to quiet my mind because I'm very, believe it or not, I'm very analytical, or I used to be very analytical. So when I was sitting down and trying to meditate quietly, I was very uncomfortable. My body rejected for me to meditate and sit quietly. And sometimes, even when I close my eyes, I feel very scared because I was feeling the presence of some present in the room. So I was very, very scared. And this happened to, for example, my sisters, that they don't want to be in a quiet room with their eyes closed because they feel also the present. By time, I think you just need to practice training your body, sitting, and also your mind. For some people, it's not easy, but then once you practice this, because I had to practice to sit my body quietly and still. Once you have this practice, you could easily meditate longer because we recommend usually to start meditating a few minutes, concentrating in your breath, but then it requires practice and then you can last longer. And then obviously once you integrate that in your daily basis, you could even stay 1 hour, 2 hours. But yeah, is one of the misconception is that they said it's easy. To me, it wasn't easy. But now I cannot really be without meditation in my daily routine. So I hear so many stories about what is happening inside you when you meditate. Can you share, Jasmine, any experience that you have through meditation?
Well, I can say the first thing that I experienced with meditation was suddenly I was been doing meditations for about maybe 7, 8 weeks. I started just with 2 minutes and I just, increased because for me it was not easy meditating either. I had to put an effort to do it. And I was doing it every day for some minutes. But then after 2.5, 3 months, then I suddenly realized that I was not in my emotions of despair or stress, but I could hear the birds singing, I could hear children laughing. It's like I was experiencing the world from another perspective. And that was quite early. That was just 3 months after I started meditating. And then later on, like today, I meditate to go deeper in myself, to go deeper, to connect more to my essence, and to, in a way, to understand topics or find solutions, or just learn more. So meditation has taken me from that creating a space in my mind that I could listen to things around and listen to myself and taking better decisions, to where I am today, that I can go down or inside just to get information or to reconnect with my roots. Or so the more you work with it, in a way, it develops. Meditation develops you and develops the way you use meditation. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, Janice.
Yes, of course, because each experience is different. Obviously, the longer you meditate, the more you get from meditation. Because in the very beginning, I will tell my experience, it was just to relax my mind and train my body. And this took me years to do that. That doesn't mean that it's gonna take you years. It was just me. I was living in a lot of stress. But then, the more I was meditating, the more I was gaining. And wasn't just only relaxing, it was also, I can say, you can also download some information that you previously intend before the meditation. In my case, when I wanted to, for example, know an information that I wasn't, because this happened to me, I'm talking about 15 years ago, and I didn't really use Google. I was only using books. So when I was sitting quiet, I started with an intention or a question, and everything was quiet within me. Answers appear like the intuition. You know, when you use your intuition, is the same. So then it's a progress. My meditations were progress. Now I not only can relax and download information, I can also, and so many people can, is to connect to the network red that we have, which means we can use also telepathy when we meditate. But this is gradually, obviously. But for some people, it comes for them very naturally, like Veronica. She is incredible meditating. She downloads information. So tell us, Veronica, how's your experience?
I've been thinking about what you were saying, and I think my first experience with meditation was when I was joining yoga classes. At the end, in the beginning and end of every class,
Yeah.
there would be like 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. And that's what happened basically, just breathing. Sometimes a teacher would guide you into counting or guide you the body scanning, where you scan through your body. And then your thoughts are purely on here and now on your body. And then you relax your mind. And the moment when none of the thoughts came in for like 10 seconds, or it came in, but you managed to push it through, huge thing. But that was the first type of meditation that I didn't do it myself. And in the beginning of this year, something weird happened because I discovered that there is a whole different world, or like a whole different level that's more subtle, that we can't see it with the first look. And I meet more and more people now that I feel the subtleness. I meet a lot of people who also feel it and notice it. But people are afraid to talk about it because many reasons. But anyways, in the beginning of that year, the moment I noticed, and someone said, "Yes, Veronica, it's always been there, and you just never paid attention." I completely lost interest in discovering what's in me, but I got really into discovering, like, okay, so what can I see? So I started like training. It's called visualization meditation, where you allow your mind to visualize. And in the beginning, it felt very strange because there were pictures, they didn't make sense. They were sometimes just like a picture of, I don't know, chair. And then what does it mean? But I just didn't ask what it meant. I just let it come. So then a lot of images would come and come and come. And eventually I noticed that it gets easier when I leave my body energetically. So then meditating with my body here, I imagined with my mind that I would step out of my body. And I believe that would be called astral projection or astral meditation. When I discovered that I can do that, I was so excited, and I was pulling further and further out, because then suddenly you can meditate and you can basically create these images in your head that are better than any TV series, better than any science fiction, fantasy, whatever. And I was always hooked on that. So finally discovering that this can happen in my head, and I didn't work hard for it. It was just happening, and super exciting. But then as the time progressed, because I stopped seeing things very clearly, and I was watching the movie and I was like, trying to see more and more and more. And then my amazing mentor, Yasmin, she told me, "No, Veronica, you need to first look inside, because the outside world that you're perceiving already happens inside of you. And you get much better vision and much more control, and it's much safer, and you can travel astrally inside of yourself." Months. It took me months to switch from the idea of going out, the idea of going in. But when that happened, then I started discovering, oh, I have a lot of things to work with myself. And I think that's I still do both, but the working on yourself is just subtle as well, but in a way that helps your everyday life. It's not just escaping with your mind into the clouds or whatever worlds, but you actually see progress and you meet your amazing soul, your essence. And I think that's what we're talking about here. So it's a journey, and I feel like for everyone is going to be different.
Yes, that's beautiful. And as you said, it is always like an inner work, because no matter what you see in the meditation or what you find, or it's always going to be a projection of what you are at this moment. So many people wants to see, I don't know, elephants flying, or all sort of things in the meditation, which you could see and have these kind of experiences. Each meditation will tell you information that you need at that moment. Usually, when I used to meditate, I just couldn't hear anything. I'm talking 15 years ago, but I could hear my thoughts in a rush, because I was always in a rush, wanted to have and achieve a goal through a meditation. But it's not a meditation is not a competition to obtain. It's just each experiences. It will tell you an information that you need at this moment. Which for the beginners, Jasmine, I know that you have a lot of students. Which meditation would you recommend for beginners at this moment?
For beginners, I think to have contact with the breathing, like
Okay.
there's several forms of breathing. You can breathe like what they call the box, like you breathe in for seconds and you wait for seconds and you breathe out for seconds and then you hold for seconds and then you start again. I know some firefighters do that, use breathe like that when they're working, when they're in a fire, and to keep them calm. And in a way also the oxygen they're carrying would last longer. Another kind would be the one that is called 4-6-8. You breathe counting 4, holding 6, and then breathing out 8. The idea is that you take shorter breathing in breathing and longer exhalations. That difference, and then you're just focusing on that, and then in a way, then you will see how much your thoughts jump here and there. And you don't have to do it, as I said, you don't have to do it long to begin with, because you are not trained to sit there. I can sit in a meditation for 2-3 hours, but I wouldn't start with a beginner with that. I will put them in maximum 3 to 4 minutes and then increase when they feel comfortable. And some people might get to an hour in about 6 months, and some people need longer. But what I usually see is like when you see your thoughts during you start meditating and then you see your thoughts coming, just accept that the thoughts are there and just let them go. Tell your mind, I am meditating now. I want to create space in my mind. Because what happens is that the mind is creating all these thoughts and sending them to you because you're not used to be quiet. So I would go back to my breathing and then just connecting my breathing, or feel how when you breathe in, the air is cold, and when you breathe out, the air is warm. Just that, just doing that for 2-3 minutes, that would be a beginning of a meditation.
Thank you. And Veronica, for the people that they already train the breath and their mind, that they are meditating longer, what would you recommend? Because there's also guided or mantra or sound meditations. Have you ever experienced this?
Yeah, no. Which way to go? Well, I can start but the sound meditations, or is basically letting the vibration of the different instruments go through your ear and affect, and not only ear, but your whole body, and affect with the vibration. And with that vibration, you can reach different waves in your brain and you can switch that. And then your heartbeat will go lower. And with the music loud and the vibrations in your body, it's much easier to begin with. That's also, I started with the sounds in the beginning. One of my biggest discoveries was when I went for a gong meditation, and we were just 8 people and a huge gong, like 1 meter, wide. And then the gong would be played on, and I felt like it just made me in, because I believe there's some things that makes it easier for your brain to stop fixating on the thoughts. Sound is one of them. Second thing is having a guided meditation, when you have to follow the voice, because in the beginning you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know what's out, what's in, but you're already breathing, you're already calm, and then you're like, now what? I think it's nice to have a guided meditation. There is some music, amazing music in the internet that is mixing the sounds and the voice. I have this album that is quite new of my favorite artist, and it is instruments that are playing, and he speaks only one sentence every minute. When I listen to it and I hear it, I really enjoy it, because I get that staying here and now, but only a little bit, and the rest is letting the brain just relax, and it's so relaxing. Interesting thing, 2 days ago I went to sound healing with the crystal balls, and one guy was wearing the electrical watch that's measuring the pulse, and during 1 hour of playing on the crystals, his pulse went down to the lowest resting pulse that he does in the night after long time of trying to fall asleep, getting deeper. So that's the deep waves of either REM, the time when you dream, or the theta waves of the brain. It is amazing what sound can do. So I would recommend probably using some sounds with vibrations. What do you think, Janice?
Well, I love when Jasmine plays the drums. She, oh my God, she does amazing also sounds with her voice. She transport me to a different, basically dimensions, and I just feel so connected to myself and to everyone. To be honest, it's just amazing. The experience with the drums is really highly recommend. I really highly recommend this. And also, if it's very difficult for you, you could also ask your friends to have a group meditation, because this is what we do. We organize one day and to do like a group meditation, because we can guide each other, and it's a sort of something to discipline yourself, because when you do it by yourself, sometimes you procrastinate and it's difficult. But when you organize with more people that they are like-minded, and your friends and people that you actually trust, because meditation to me are sacred. As Veronica mentioned, you could also go to the astral world, and of course you gonna come back. But if you're not ready to see what is beyond this veil, it will make you doubt and scare. So it's a place that it should be sacred, and also ask for protection, because when you meditate, when you used to meditating and you go really far beyond this plane, you should always go with protection. We recommend this for people who's been training, who's been meditating for many years. Yes, I love this group and meditation that we have together with Janek and Veronica. It helps us a lot to have this discipline, a weekly discipline that you require. It gives you like the boost for the whole week. And I love these meditations. So to finish, is there any experience you want to share? What is the biggest thing you got from a meditation?
Wow.
We could make a new episode
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
experiences. I can share one of my beginning experiences, and that was I was being guided with a guided meditation. And that was just the beginning of me discovering the whole world. And as you said, when I would sit alone, I would feel like there is a presence. That it wasn't bad, wasn't good. It was just, it was inside of me. And I felt like it was hiding. Something inside of me was hiding from me. But then by the being guided into it, I went deeper and deeper. And then I discovered there's one thing. It felt like a ball. And it was firstly, it was fear. And under that, there was some more fear and some more emotions. And I kept digging and digging, like peeling an onion and peeling. And there inside, when I got deep enough, I felt like I met my guide first time. That was the inner voice, but it is not me. It is initially a feeling of a presence. And that guide has been with me ever since. I got to meet many more guides, but that first moment of feeling like, wow, it felt like discovering a little magic inside of me. It felt like, this Disney movie Moana, when the green goddess, like it felt like that. It was like a feeling of divine inside of me, something that takes care of me. That was beautiful. And it was there always, but I just never paid attention, or I was afraid. So it was covered with a lot of things. So that's what I can share with you now. Maybe it's
It's so beautiful. I can share one of so many. One day I've been guided in this meditation. This is long time ago. And I thought I'm going to meet my spirit guides in the meditation to just have a conversation with them. But then all of a sudden, when I was very deep into the meditation, they showed me someone, and they said, come, I'm gonna show you someone." And I thought, okay, I'm gonna meet also my guides and then have fun. However, I met my father who passed away years ago, and I never thought this is what I'm saying. Like this wasn't my imagination, because at that moment I will never thought that I'm going to meet my father through this meditation. And it was so good meeting him and talking to him and seeing him healthy, because he was very sick. To me, it was like a present. And since then, I not only meet my father, but so many people that are already connected. To me, meditations are a gift, that I can have this every day. So me, it's just nowadays, to me, is I'm not scared doing meditation. I'm just like happy to get meditations every day. So yeah. Any experience, Jasmine, before we close?
Oh, so many, but I would like to go with the one meditation where I met my inner warrior or inner warriorist. It was in a way me. It was a part of me. It was one of the archetypes in female, and how safe I felt when I met her, and how I could in a way regain my inner strength and my inner belief in myself. This was several years ago, and that's with connecting to that part of me and integrating it into my life is what made me come out of this depression and that awful place where I was for many years ago, and become the woman I am today. So in a way, it's like connecting to the inner force. It was not the essence in itself, but it was a guide that has been with me since. And whenever I go like, oh, I cannot anymore, I'm tired or something, then she comes up again and says, you've been in worse situations and you have made it. So come on, let's go. And having that connection to myself and my potential has only that makes meditation a fantastic thing to do every day.
Wow. Well, so with this, we conclude this episode. So thank you for sharing this moment of stillness with us today.
Yes, and feel free to comment under our YouTube video if you have any questions or any experiences with meditations. We also have Instagram account, the Essence Talks podcast. We answer private messages, so it would be really nice to connect and if you wanted to reach out.
Thank you. Until the next episode, we will record another extended episode for our experiences because we have a lot to share. We have amazing experiences, so 3 of us. Okay, so thank you. We will see you to the next podcast. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.